Impact of the coronavirus is growing as states see even more people dying. Florida has now reported a record-breaking number of deaths for the fourth day in a row. And now there's concerns the virus is moving into parts of the country that haven't seen many cases.
Now we see the virus, probably because of vacations and other reasons of travel, moving up into Kentucky, Tennessee, southern Ohio, Missouri, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, and of course we continue to have problems across the West Coast.
When someone is diagnosed with coronavirus, contact tracers try to figure out their moves so they can determine who may have been exposed. But some people aren't forthcoming when they do test positive. Just hours ago, our Dave Faraday spoke with the Caldwell County Health Department, and he joins us now live with some of their concerns.
Allison, the vast majority of people do cooperate when they're tested at locations like this area here in Lenoir. But healthcare workers are telling us that there are some folks who won't answer their phone after being testing positive here in Caldwell County. Take a look at some of this video that we shot this morning. You can see some of that testing right now. Caldwell County and the local healthcare providers are testing on average 150 people a day. We found out the numbers here are actually trending in the wrong direction, with the positivity rate climbing from 5 to 7.7%. At the Caldwell County Health Department, 35 employees are now involved in contact tracing. You can see one of them right there. Healthcare workers say they are running into cases where some of the people who've tested positive are not cooperating with the contact tracers. This despite being told that their names won't be revealed when healthcare workers reach out to other people that they possibly had contact with. In some cases, the health department has had to go to homes after being unable to reach people who've tested positive.
People will hang up on you, and we definitely keep trying to call back. And we ensure them that we're only trying to help them. If they don't want to answer the phone, that's understandable if they don't want to talk to us right now, but we keep trying to make sure that we can help stop the spread.
And the Catawba County Health Department also reached out to us, and they are encouraging people to answer their phones when they get a call from the health department. They say the information you share with contact tracers could be invaluable in keeping you healthy and slowing the spread of COVID-19. Reporting live from Lenoir. Now back to you, Allison.
All right, Dave, and the timing of that is really important too. In Mecklenburg County, contact tracers say they're being ignored, hung up on, or they just don't get much information. Of the people with numbers listed, the county told us it's only been able to get in touch with 85%. Another issue, contact tracers cannot make you self-isolate. In Cabarrus County, we got a closer look at contact tracing underway there. The team of contact tracers through the Cabarrus County Health Alliance says cases started off with travelers or patients under long-term care, and now the cases are being linked to nearly anyone. They've also seen a shift in the age range of the positive cases. A warning sent to a Northeast Charlotte nightclub ahead of another weekend with an alcohol order. ALE provided this letter to the El Centenario nightclub on North Tryon, warning them the ABC Commission may take action against their alcohol permits if they continue to operate in violation of Governor Roy Cooper's executive order. The order bans restaurants from selling alcohol past 11 o'clock. Governor Cooper's goal is to prevent restaurants from turning into bars and ultimately another source for COVID-19 to spread. Charlotte's order is even more restrictive. It went into effect last Thursday, and police have already started enforcing it. Channel 9 has learned mass testing has been completed at 48 prisons across the state since the effort started on June 22nd. So far, more than 1,400 inmates have tested positive, roughly 5% of the prison population. We looked at the states and learned that cases are growing at some local prisons. Albemarle Correctional has tested 773 inmates. 106 have tested positive, or about 13% of the population. Alexander Correctional has seen only 2 positive cases, while Avery Mitchell Correctional and Caldwell Correctional have both seen 8 cases. South Carolina's Department of Corrections now says it will not take any new male inmates through August 31st. That's an extension of restrictions that started earlier this month. It's not allowing any visitors either. SCDC says 9 inmates have died from COVID-19. 862 inmates and 274 staff members have tested positive. Americans without jobs are still in limbo. The federal program that provides them an extra $600 a week expires today. And as of now, lawmakers are not on the same page with a new plan.
Every month, even working multiple jobs, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Republicans and Democrats aren't seeing eye to eye on a jobless benefit plan. Both say that funding is needed, but they just can't agree on how to move forward.
If our Democratic colleagues had acted with the urgency that struggling people deserve, we could right now be finishing up a major bipartisan package.
We got here because our Republican colleagues couldn't get their act together. They still don't have their act together, and now they're worried. But instead of being serious in negotiating, they have created a stunt.
The Republicans' $1 trillion package was unveiled on Monday, which contrasts quite a bit with the proposal House Democrats passed in May. Meanwhile, Mooresville-based Lowe's is committing another $100 million for employee bonuses. The Charlotte Business Journal reports full-time hourly employees will get a one-time sum of $300, while part-time and seasonal employees will get $150. They're expected to see that money on August 21st. It's official. The U.S. Park Service has reopened several campgrounds in North Carolina and Virginia despite the rise in coronavirus cases. Those campgrounds include Price Park and the Linville Falls Campground along the Blue Ridge Parkway. Neither opened this year because of the COVID-19 restrictions. The U.S. Park Service says it is making sure that guests follow the CDC guidelines.
The bathrooms will be cleaned regularly and more than in the past. We'll trying to implement social distancing. We're going to encourage the social distancing both on the trails and in the campground.
The two campgrounds have more than 250 sites to pitch a tent.